Order for me GDA say a breeding pempen so ohoye dia na chese nkwaso so ewo ho a breeding pempen so na Onyankopon say me no meche no asem kakra bi kai na hye no so say asem we asem a abra na me da ho around 3 a.m. in the morning na me dwindwin Onyankopon asem ho na it drop into my spirit and Onyankopon konkon hye me say me ne ba intimi emeche me say asem we asem a bit ma boa me ni omienu na yetimi akoso enya nyame mu didie nya akoso a de ho atu nyame so na ya kan ni hu se emfa ho ne de betu ye bia no se akoso a na se yesum nyame o pepeye me no kwemu dia ibekom bia no nyame no krafo se bitimi agye afiri ti asemu ya asema me de ba na me betu didie e wo nyame mu wa akoso ehu se o sum nyame ono kwemu dia na me so ye no kwafo so betimi agye ofiri ade biara a obekom na asema me de bayi no na to asemi din said deliver us from our accusers, deliver us from our accusers. Gye free ya kwadu bofo ensem mo boy kwadu no mo kan sem to yeso sama anyim no mo ka to yeso no se de be ya Onyankopon mo abi ai free ni pa bi so ana free biaye bi e ba yen chen na betimi afiri ho no sa nkofo Onyankopon enyi free ho sem what you say ameji nkonkon na di say ansa na asemu no ebekọ na wie ye no ubeye nhira iti abere nche on be se bompa ye kakra na ye di asemu hye nyame nsa se de be ya yitiri mu pon ne botan nti a odi asem na ma me sa abere ni sam pepensu se me famro no bebe musa na hye ndi nkonkon no ono kwafo ni nyame wa utumi ade nyina ye wa okebe mu a hye nyina wa wona wa do utumi so de wasem adom me sa abere ni sam pepensu se wade me ne o ma meche Bible nyane say ntimu pone botaye ntumi nti awade odi asem ya dom me sa abere ni pepensu se me no ma meche na awade ntumi emmere musa ma awade o mo mutie me na o mo hwe me na awade ma nhyira bia wa asem no mo nsa ntimi enka na me am so me di asem no e ba so awade ma nhyira bia wa asem no awade me so ntimi enya me chefa se de be ya wiye no ani mo nyam hye ne ayi nyina betimi aye wo Nyankopon wo dia ye da wase so we no kwafo nti dada Nyankopon wa wo tias dada sa abere watie ye na why ni samai e wo Jesus Christ di muti amen say medical canon say asematu din say deliver us from our accusers abraham chawon me say ye kotwesem mu na ye hwe de tresem no e ka fa asem yu particularly hu nsi e be wie no wo be nhira na nkonkon be bie unti aso so afa no ma bi hu amwa na timia tu gidie mu na sa hyew de amwa koso timi do hu atu Yakobon so eyi Abraham Chawon, so I'm reading. We are taking our reading from the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 1 to 28. And then on, I can't say I'm the Bawaka, but Nina, I said, a bed boa, mo, it's my tea, seven as you in Tina Mayanisa. Inti, you were Nino Asso. Now, you heard the Hong so I want my Sabri in Pepper. So I'm reading. Verse 1. Darius thought it would be a good idea to choose 120 satraps to rule throughout his kingdom. When we say satraps, we mean provincial governors. He chose 3 men to rule over the 120 satraps. Daniel was one of the 3 supervisors. The king put these men in this position to keep anyone from cheating him. Daniel proved himself to be a better supervisor than any of the others. He did this by his good character and great ability. The king was so impressed with Daniel that he planned to make him ruler over all the whole kingdom. But when the other supervisors and the satraps heard about this, they were very jealous. They tried to find reason to accuse Daniel, so they watched what Daniel did as he went about doing the business of the government. But they could not find any wrong with him, so they could not accuse him of doing anything wrong. Daniel was a man people could trust. He did not cheat the king, and he worked very hard. Finally, they said, "We will never find any reason to accuse Daniel of doing something wrong, so we must find something to complain about that is connected to the law of his God." Can you share the asma me dey bere me sima tun din say Deliver us from our accusers. Nyame hu yemobon won giem free. Omo boy kwadu ensem kan sam to yeso. Hyehyɛ nsɛm tia yɛn. Wote ase? Aha, hyehyɛ nsɛm. Sa tade no de dura yɛ sɛ de bɛyɛ ne ho bɛyɛ pɛ. Wote ase? Aha, sɛ de bɛyɛ a ya pɛfo bi betime nya yɛn. Ana asɛ Nyankopɔn trim pon ne botae bi ma ya abrabɔ emu no. Entimi mum sa. Ana asɛ obi a Nyankopɔn de yɛn ho do bi ato na koma so no. Don't be free all mako. So I'm continuing reading. The Bible says, finally, they said, we will never find any reason to accuse Daniel of doing something wrong. So we must find something to complain about that is connected to the law of his God. So the two supervisors and the satraps went as a group to the king. They said, King Darius, live forever. The supervisors, prefects, satraps, advisors, and governors have all agreed on something. We think that the king should make this law and that everyone must obey it. For the next 30 days, whoever prays to any god or man except you, king, will be thrown into the lion's den. Now, king, make the law and sign the paper. It is written on so that it cannot be changed, because the laws of the Medes and Persians cannot be cancelled or changed. So King Darius made the law and signed it. Daniel always prayed to God 3 times every day. 3 times every day he bowed down on his knees to pray and praise God. Even though Daniel heard about the new law, he still went to his house to pray. He went up to the upper room of his house and opened the windows that faced towards Jerusalem. Then Daniel bowed down on his knees and prayed just as he always had done. Then the supervisors and satraps went as a group and found Daniel praying and asking God for help. So they went to the king and talked to him about the law he had made. They said, King Darius, you signed a law that says, for the next 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or man except you, the king, will be thrown into the lion's den. You did sign the law, didn't you? The king answered, yes, I signed the law. Or I signed that law. And the laws of the Medes and Persians cannot be cancelled or changed. Then they said to the king, that man Daniel is not paying any attention to you. He is one of the captives from Judah, and he is not paying attention to the law you signed. Daniel still prayed to his God 3 times every day. The king became very sad and upset when he heard this. He decided to save Daniel. He wept until sunset, trying to think of a way to save Daniel. Then the men went as a group to the king and said to him, remember, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians says that no law or command signed by the king can ever be cancelled or changed. Therefore, Messiah me dey be bato asemi din say, save us from our accusers. Na me yen free. Omo boy kwadu. Omo pensam. No mo sentare no mi dry no. Onyame yen free onsem. Spiritual and physical accusers. Onyame yen free onsem. I'm continuing reading. So the King Darius gave the order. They brought Daniel and threw him into the lion's den. The king said to Daniel, may the God you serve save you. A big rock was brought and put over the opening of the lion's den. Then the king used his ring and put his seal on the rock. He also used the rings of his officials and put their seals on the rock. This shows that no one could move the rock and bring Daniel out of the lion's den. Then King Darius went back to his house. He did not eat that night. He did not want anyone to come and entertain him. He could not sleep all night. The next morning, King Darius got up just as it was getting light and ran to the lion's den. He was very worried. When he got to the lion's den, he called to Daniel, said, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to save you from the lions? You always serve your God. Daniel answered, King, live forever. My God sent his angels to save me. The angels closed the lion's mouth. The lions have not hurt me because my God knows I am innocent. I never did anything wrong to you, Cain. King Darius was very happy. He told his servants to lift Daniel out of the lion's den. And when Daniel was lifted out of the den, they did not find any injury on his body. The lion did not hurt Daniel because he trusted in his God. Then the king gave a command to bring the men who had accused Daniel to the lion's den. The men and their wives and children were thrown into the lion's den. The lions grabbed them before they hit the floor. The lions ate their bodies, then chewed on their bones. Then King Darius wrote this letter to all the people from other nations and language groups and around the world. Greetings, I am making a new law. This law is for people in every part of my kingdom. Of all you must fear and respect the God of Daniel. Daniel's God is the living God. He lives forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed. His rule will never end. God helps and saves people. He does amazing miracles in heaven and on earth. He saved Daniel from the lions. So Daniel was successful during the time Darius was king and when Cyrus the Persian was king. Amen. Therefore, onyame asem a me kan bebre nyane na me pache. We abra e kan se ekofa Israel for Daniel. Judah for eba Babylon. So we meso me yankwafo na King Darius time. Ko share se open kofu bia. Odu o meso sisi ne man na no. Se de be ya ne manfo ni bintimi mbu. E fa concerning tax and other things. Na se me fan se fatwo ho ne no market keka. Uyi kofu bi na uyi Daniel ka ho bi. Na uyi Daniel no. Daniel ye obi a na osuo nyame to nam nyam suom ye dwuma dimu bo dwuma ye. Ema ohini be hu se Daniel bo dwuma ma aboa na ma na hinye ekoso. Ama waye pe woni manfo ni. Ti ma ne be pe Daniel asem. To hu sa no odwene ho. O se sa de wode. Eye man na kan nyina no na hinye na kan nyina be hye Daniel sa. Na yen kofo na otwusu o mo ka Daniel ho. Supervisors ni bi. O ti ase. Ha, e ka o mu bom. E na o mo yese o mo passem bi. No man nyine no ya to Daniel so. Se de be ya wo hen adwene King Darius adwene pa wo nya fa Daniel ho no. Entimi mbam sa na se sansusu pa na wo susu no. Entimi wiemu di. Enti o kwa kwan bebre so tati monitor Daniel. O ne nyuma die ma o di e de ama o hen no ni na henie. Mo monitor. O manya de boni bia fa Daniel. Enti afere wo tenase no hyehyɛ no ka se Daniel obi o so nyame. To mo ya o munya bi boni bia mfata emfa no. Ti sa de a o mo be pa ade bia eye mmara e wo no no nyankopɔn na wo so no mu. Na no de o mo nam so betimi nya Daniel. Do mo ka o mo bu. Do mo kɔ hen Darius anim. Mo kɔ mo so hen on kwaso na nyini kyɛ. Ye nyina ya kan ho abu. Eye mpanifo yi. Eye prefects, satraps, governors, supervisors. Ye nyina ya kan ho abu ni aba. Na ye kan say no ye pese wo sembre bi. Ye mra ye pese wo senenu nie. Na aduasen da ye nimu ni. Ye pese obi ani ho no mo wa wo heni ma. Obekoto so obompa ya kire nyame bi. Obekoto so osori nyame bi. Obekoto so obo nyame bi din. So obi bo nyame bi din a enye wo hene. Obi be sori nyame bi a enye wo hene. Obi bo bompa ya kire nyame bi a enye wo hene. King Darius tie sa no. Oditum mo ka kire ne se sa de a won fa sa mra ne nsan nsam mumam. O ti ase ha ti se de ye de mra ko parliament na members of parliament na agree mo na omodo mo sa ahase ye nya de nsa ahase wi na abaye mra ntimi sesa no se mra ndi wadu to mo hye ohene ne se ohene ne nye ne sa ohene ne soso Darius soso ye ne sa ohene ye ne sa wi ye no na omo start so monitor Daniel ko mo nim se de bi o menya Daniel na Daniel babo me ati ase ne bebe makan yi se Daniel omo hye sa mra fufure nyina new laws nyina no anye Daniel na no popo o so be su nyankopon na Daniel da nya o ko nyankopon ni bompa ye prince se de Daniel da nya no ye no go babo ni bebe makan me ati ase Daniel nya o ko nyankopon ni bu ntwere bompa ye premiensa mo ti tell sa no mu se Daniel akone dan ma bomb pie ni apawu na mpoma kire Jerusalem obie bomb pie enko fuiti sa no I say obi aka bibi ato so wonim say wada wo sum fidie bi wonim say sa fidie we ye wo sum ko de bi nyaw wo ye de bi nyaw de bia no wa ya let wa vigilant wo tetew say de be sa fidie ni bi nyaw sa fidie ni ji Daniel musa Daniel bomb pie spray Nyankopon mo ka mu bombe mo sa ko hindaro so ni o cha se hindaro so ni mo ka o here won kwa so nyini che enya na wo sha mra se efile da ko emo obia mo nyame bia di sori nyame bia mo pa enche nyame bia enya wa o here se amia na mse sa mra no o se ko hwai akwa na ye fe ne Daniel na wo ka o ma ye ko chi o mu fi Juda no Juda ni no he wo mu ade mbra na wa se no onu wondi so onfanya hwe we okoso ya ne da nyina sori Nyankopon bompa e cheri Nyankopon emprensa so se de da o ye no no na omra na wo se ne kwa de onfanya hwe na babu me tia se wo he na beti ye no na wura ho na ne bufu ye ba esanse na Daniel onim se Daniel ye no nyam so ni na onam Nyankopon nam no so ti ma bo ne na hinnie no e wo ne mayanim ene na hinnie mu ti no na wo pena asɛmti ebe ye drima ohen ne sɛ ohen no ebe nam samra no so ede ye buboni etia Daniel na ope ko bi so sɛ ko be fa na ko de aboa Daniel nso ye anye yi na ko fi sa ba biem o be ka je ohen ye medicine patients na say medicine patients mra no de se nya hye ne sign de to ho a ana de hye ase a obia ne ho kwan so obetwam ana say dey bobuso timran de washan de washin timran de Daniel ohine ne tonsa ne ko fre Daniel ba ne Daniel ba ye no na Daniel ka kire ohine ne ka kire Daniel say na wose ye Daniel tu data bonu ye de Daniel tu data bonu ka kire Daniel say Daniel Nyankopon na dada ni da nyina wo som na do ho aton so no sa Nyankopon no onjo na ye de Daniel tu data bonu na babu meti asese ohini dana chi no sa ko ni fie na babu meti asese ko du ni fie na defa mu nyina no wontimi anda wonidi na mpo wa pese obi po ba be giginani na anadwo na ahomache kafra ahomache enimu ye se tete no wo sore na tu na mo so na wo tutene ko eye tetabonu no na ansa no so no ode Daniel tu jata bonum no ode na ne kawa e hye no no esili eye botan ne so botan na de tu jata bonum no ene ne nkofo je so ka ho kire se obia ne tumi se ye dey sa botan na ode ato ana se buba na ode ato jata bonum no wi won kwan so betima ba bi sa no pana wo sori ko ye no wo duru ho no o tiem o si Daniel Nyankopon na wo so no dada nyina no otimi agye wana na Daniel so je so ohene wo kwa so no nyini che Nyankopon no kwafo se na de famu nyina wasoma na bofo ama wo be ka jatai anumato ama jatai ebia ntimi afa na no anka ana ase anle nda so tiase na ohene da roste sa na ni je wo hye ne manfo ana se ne kwafo se omunji e Daniel efi jataboni mo fa no pie na mo yi ne pie bae no na bawo metia se ne be bia nkan be bia ntwai enkan na wo hye se wo ma mo accuse no the accusers no ni ada supervisors ne satrats ne ada we no won ko from mra omo manne omo yiri nyina na ohene da ro hye se yemfu mu ngu jataboni according to Bible no ye to omo se ye do omo kono kwa omo ndu jataboni ase na jata ne so omo osoro omo ji omo no mu no mpanyina no mu ku omo ohene da ro be semra to wo se efina da koyi na hinnie mu ni nipa mu ni mu nipa nyina no mu kasa hodo nyina no obia be so e da ne Nyankopon se da ne Nyankopon no kwafo nya hinnie tim oda na wo ku bu nipa no gin nipa obia nsom no obia fa no ho to no so na ekoba asa e ma Daniel e be diye became successful na King Darius so hinnie su be successful e koya akosi the later King Cyrus so odofo e me pa chenya dem pa chere say abrabo emu ni asetena mu na we have accusers, spiritual and physical accusers. Omo yenkofo omo tutu ya no omo kansam tu ye so the prayer se ne nhyira bi ne adom bi wo se Nyankopon nam so etima ne baye so mpese hu besi anase abrabom ni pempenso mi Nyankopon timi ye kopie baabi se Nyankopon na obi so betima boaye sankofo ye nkofo a omo wo environment ni ma omo nam tumidie bi so ni tumi bi ekutomo timi de sori tia ye kutia ye se de baye Nyankopon tiri mo ponu susu ye ma ye na ntimi emmam wo sa environment wo anase wo we asimpo Nyankopon timi de ye ho do atu obi so enam mode mo bi etimi bonti enam enyam so bi wo emumti enam nyam yeduma bi eyimti enam bi party bi etimi ye binti enam so mo bi timi be doye be pay asem na enkofu bi etimi soretia kofu bi kan sam to ye so e accuse ye concerning it say the bear so pa kono do no be free ho what you say hwe na o kan Job, the book of Job chapter 1 na hwe na Bible chapter 1 na sa akosi 22 na he na Bible say Nyankopon friend ma na bonsam ko pie obi na Nyankopon busa say na wo ma ko Job say wo se hwe wo hira ntira na otu Nyankopon no fa Job ho bonsam o na Nyankopon di Job e hye bonsam sa na bonsam sa se so wo titi Job wo tete na wo firo na over chapter 2 na what you say chapter 2 no verse 1 to 13 na he na Bible say bonsam sa ko biem. That is what I call the second coming of Satan. Na me sam friend ma biem no sa ko Nyankopon ka che bonsam se hwe na ma ko Job hu say sa me ka kire wo ye o dey nyina wo so on me na bonsam ka che Nyankopon se hwe abrabom ni asetre mu ni pa biara ni wono ma he o mo ne kra ho ban anase wontimi nkonje ne kra na fa ne kra dey fa shame sa na hwe so power na ho ne Nyankopon di Job share bonsam sa so wonye ni pa biara ba ne kra de mo fa ne sanka na ho na ekuru tu Job a fi tiri so ko kan na ase odofo de me pa kire say abrabom mu say we have to understand that we have accusers, spiritual accusers. Whenever we find ourselves, every environment that we find ourselves, we have to understand that we have spiritual and physical accusers, those that will accuse us, so that we will not be able to fulfill our promise, what I said, so that we will not be able to accomplish our purpose and understand. Therefore, we have spiritual and physical accusers. What I said, fanu ma bi honi hye bi ho se de be ya trimu police hye Nyankopon ma ye no entimu wiemudi anase obi krompo Nyankopon de ho do ato na koma so so mo ya brabo no fen koduru pepenso bi wa brabo mu no entimi mam sa he na Bible se hwe o hene no be do Daniel o pen ase no hye so de na hene nyina be hye Daniel sa na ada supervisors ne tie ye o mo ya mo hwe ase so mo pig bi no ya Daniel so mo hye bibi mo pass mi no ne dura Daniel ne ho aye pe se de be ya e de na wakoto ma niem ne po Daniel ahwere nko na de o hene ne susu pa o hene susu afa no ntimi mbom or for the bonfire shall bring perpetual said, the environment will be one as a year. But some nam coffee so, and not to me, Debbie, I accusers, which I say, I could say a brabo and Coswell or same environment one. Now, me, we are 1 year free accusers in some. We be behind one accuser, or your bushum, or your man come, or my team, or cry team, both physically and spiritually. No, so bring perpetual, the son of Yakupo to me, I didn't say 1 year free or some. One Nyankopon trim pon susu ma abrabom ni asetrem na ntimi mbrem na obi biara so Nyankopon de ho do atu na koma so se wo mo ya abrabom no fen kodum pepe so Nyankopon ahisa ma esen koduru no o ma sa wo do ntim wo na mfa wo nsem bi obeti afa ye ho na mfa wo nsem bi na mafu beka afa ye ho akire no Nyankopon ma sa wo do no nkoso ntim se de be obokoso adoye eni trim pon susu nam se ni pa kon so no koso wo ho ne pa kon nam sa ye so tim ya boy na kodum pepe so bia Nyankopon ahisa ma esen koduru abrabom na so Nyankopon die mu nyam me di ese asem ya be bia wo ti ase so na atu gide mu so na obekoso ado watu Nyankopon so se de be ya emfa ho ni de nipa bia ka fa ho na nipa bia hye tia wo na manie bia nam nipa bi hye die bi so no na omo nsem so do akotum na me be jiwa film nyam ya hye ni mu nyam se hwe ni enwu a ta nko fi omo accuse Daniel na later no omo mom na ide jata ne de ehwe wo mo me di ese wa yinhira e wa asem ho abrani pempensuo so na me enka ho na ontene ni mu kire wo se watie na waye ne sa na fi na da ekoyo wo be koso atim de wo atu nyame so yesa wo de wo tun so keke wo de wo tun so yi na do wura hye mu wo nwa kan wo se emfa ho ne de obekom bia no we no kofo se obetimi agyew abra wo de wo tun so yi na wasum yi o no kuram ni pepe yim rade enka ho na ontene ni mu kire sa be ni pepe so yi so peace shalom bye.